Okay, everybody, my name is Elijah Walker, and I have a special guest here on the narrative today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
How you doing? My name is Corey Dustin McDouse, Sr.
Nice to meet you, man. It's a pleasure to have you. I appreciate you for taking the time to do this interview. So let's start from the beginning. Where are you from?
I'm born and raised in Canton, Ohio.
Okay, what part of Canton?
Most northwest.
Okay. What was it like for you growing up?
It was nice. I was a star athlete in baseball, and then so it was kind of fun, but it was kind of hard too because back then we didn't have much, so we had to make do. So.
What was your? Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What was your relationship like with your parents?
It was a little different. I was raised by a stepfather that took me in when I was 2 weeks old. Him and my mom was together, and he raised me actually my whole life. So I mean, it was kind of strenuous because he had a little bit of alcohol problem, and so growing up in an alcoholic abusive home was, we had our ups and downs, we had our good times, we had our bad times.
Okay. So did you know your father at all?
Yes.
Okay. And what was your
later on down the line?
Okay.
When I was a teenager, I found out who he was. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, as much as you can remember.
Well, let me correct that. I wouldn't say found out who he was. I knew of him, but I didn't really actually get involved with like my brothers and sisters from that side until I was a teenager.
Okay. How many siblings do you have?
With my mother, I have 2 brothers, and with my father, I have 30 altogether.
Oh my God.
Brothers and sisters together.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yep.
What was it like to be in a household where your stepfather was struggling with alcoholism?
It was difficult at times. When he was sober, it was good, and when he was drunk, it was bad. So as the older brother, because both of my brothers are younger, so as being the older brother, I felt I had to protect them. So it really drew a stake in the middle between me and my stepfather, because as I got older, it was like I didn't want to see him hit my mom. So it was like me as being a big brother, I had to be the man of the house and say that was it. So.
How old were you when it got to that point?
14.
Okay.
Yep.
That's pretty young, man.
Yeah.
And this is what, late middle school?
I was. It would have been 1990. I was born in '76.
Okay.
I'm 49.
Okay. Now, what was going on around the 70s and 80s? Because when you hear about the 80s and the 90s, you think about the crack era. So, what was that like for you, man?
You either had to jump off the porch and get involved in the streets, or you was basically broke and had nothing, and people laughed at you and bullied you. So it was your choice. Like, I mean, I might have been 12 when the first time I touched drugs to sell.
Okay. And how'd you get involved with that?
Being to where when I was in grade school, I was laughed at for having generic shoes and stuff. So when I got to be in middle school, it was like, I'm seeing certain stuff on the streets and certain people I know, and so I was just like, wait a minute, let me check it out. So it just never, then it became a lifestyle for me. But I've I've always felt that if I would have never lost my vision in my left eye, I think that I would have never really had to turn to the streets because I was that athletic and I was that gifted as a baseball player. So that derailed what I had going on. So I just had to kind of make a reverse way and do what I had to do.
Wow, man. So it sounds like a battle between two worlds. Early on in your life, you got the streets, and then you got your athletic
Sports.
career. Yeah.
Yep.
So you talk about the situation with the struggle with your left eye. What's the story behind it?
It was Hall of Fame weekend, 1989. We were at a friend's house and we were all partying and a group of friends that I grew up with, and some stuff had got said between us and some other people, and they came to the house and got to throwing things, and I was hit in the eye and lost my vision.
Oh wow, man, that's crazy how fast things can transpire.
In a matter of hours, that night, and now I know it can happen in a matter of seconds. But yeah, that night, yep, hours, yep.
So what happened initially following that situation? Like, did you go to the hospital?
Straight to the I ended up going to the hospital. It was a crazy situation because a friend of mine ended up having to steal a car to get to my mom to actually tell her what happened, that I was at the hospital because it was Hall of Fame, so all the main roads was blocked off. Back then, like streets was really blocked off to where people was actually able to enjoy themselves. But yeah, so she ended up making it there, and yep, that's what happened. I stayed 8 days. Yeah.
Wow. So how old were you when this happened?
13.
13.
Yep.
Okay. And did they, like, what was the surgery? What was the process, like the healing process?
It was a long process. I actually went and they ended up doing it. I stayed about 8 days in the hospital, and I kept thinking that it was going to be different, but I say about 2 weeks in, they let me know that I would never have it again, and so I just, as like you can't imagine, as a 13-year-old athlete, to be able to just like go from being a star to the next day to not being able to actually play what you are born and raised to play. I felt I was born and raised to play baseball, and that was my thing. So that was all it took from me. So it was hard at first, but I got to give it to my mom that she stood behind me and definitely helped me through it, and told me that she was a nurse, so she told me that it was going to be a better way. So yeah, I was good.
Yeah, always gotta thank mom. Thank mom.
Yep.
Now I don't know if you're familiar with the name, man, but famous guy by the name of Charleston White. He experienced a similar situation, not exactly the same, but
Okay.
he lost his eye as well, and he talked about the healing process, how he had to get he was wearing a patch on his eye for a good amount of time, and then eventually he got a glass eye.
Yeah.
Now, following your time at the hospital, what did you also have a patch?
Yes, I had a patch for probably about the first 30 days, and then they went ahead and fitted me for a glass one, and so the process was kind of fast for me because I was a kid.
Yeah.
So they didn't really want me to walk around being that way. So they moved pretty quick. Yep.
Okay. And what was it like having to go to school like this initially?
It was rough. because like I said, you go from being a star athlete to all of a sudden over summer break, you go out and enjoy. You think summer is going to be summer, and then you come back a total different person. You know, you're a total different kid. Actually, you know what I mean. I was a kid, so the learning process of just being able to do the things that I was able to do before, I guess, was probably the hardest part. But like I said, I do have a strong family tie to where they, you know, mom was like, I can't like give her enough credit for what she did for real.
Okay. So, following your surgery, you go through everything, which is a big change for you. How did this play a role in the street life?
Played a role because I was a star athlete in baseball, and I was a catcher. So I ended up saying, just keep going, no matter what. So I started playing hot stove at 14. That following summer, I played.
What is that for people who don't know?
It's a traveling baseball team that's from ages of 14 to 16. So, but I was a catcher. So with the pitcher, the ball coming in at so many different angles, it was hard for me to start judging the ball. So that's when I realized, like, oh, you really now do have a handicap. Like you're really not you anymore. So that's when I think that's when the depression set in. It was like, wow, like, you know, so it was like I seen so many people that I know doing so many different things in the streets. So it was just like, hey. But I had already been meddling in the streets before that, of the baseball, before that happened to me. But once that happened, I realized that me being a future baseball player was over, that I had to try to make something work that was gonna, because at that time, like, you know, that's what this generation don't understand. Like at that time, like we really struggled as kids. Like kids just don't understand. Like we really struggled and had nothing, and like $5 to us or Atwood Lake, that was like luxury to us, you know. So now that I, you know, it's just a different world, man. It's just different, yeah.
So, what was some of the things that you experienced in the streets? Because nowadays kids, they don't understand the extent to where the streets can lead to. You know, you got people that are trying to rob you. You got people that's trying to kill you. You got the police after you. So what was some of the things you experienced to let you know that, you know, the streets is real?
Well, I'll tell you what. My first story is when I was about 13. Right before that happened, with my eye, I was standing not too far from here, and it was called Maxie's store. It was on the corner of
Yeah, I can't help
Fourth and Newton.
Okay.
4th and Newton. And that's where everybody hung out and went in and bought their drinks and stuff. The little neighborhood kids went in and bought their candy and stuff. But at nighttime, it turned into a zombie zone, to where it was dangerous, and I didn't realize that at being that age. And so I was out there, and the guy walks up and he's like, "Hey, you got this?" And I knew some good people, so I had it. So I was like, "Yeah." Well, then he was like, "Here," and stuck the gun out, and he was like, "Get in the car." And at 13 years old, it was like, wow, I'll never forget it because I had $125 in my flannel. I had a black and red flannel on. I had $125 in it. And the sad part is I know who did it. You know, and I look at them to this day and it's like, I still know you did that. You know, so, but that was my first experience with being, thinking I was older than I was, I guess. But that really taught me, like, okay, they're really serious out here. So I had to. It only kind of made me like despise like certain things more. So it kind of turned me the wrong way because instead of scaring me, it made me say, okay, you'll never do that to me again. You know, so, and I think that's the thing that these young kids go through is when something happens to them, people don't realize when you do stuff to people, you're not them mentally. So you don't know what you're doing to them mentally, so you don't know how they're going to react. So to tell a person how to react to something is kind of dilute for real, because once you do something to a person, you can't tell them how to heal, or you can't tell them how to react, or you can't you know, so it makes it for a difficult world because what you went through, not another person might not have went through. So to tell them, no, calm down, you should feel a certain way, or the way you went through what you went through is totally wrong. So, you know, I think that's the misunderstanding a lot of us black people have against each other for real, is that we can't never sit down and talk and just iron it out without just going straight full 0 to 100, you know. So I hope we get it better though, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I look at it as a young man that I didn't have my father growing up, so I know that having a male presence in your home or not is going to dictate your emotional capacity, and I think that's what's going on in America and all over the world. Especially in America, young black boys, they don't have a father, so that emotional foundation is not there to guide them because they got all the energy in the world, but they got a lot of buttons that a lot of people can push, and once somebody know the buttons that you can push, they'll send you off. So I appreciate you giving insight on that because it's real, man. It's real, and these kids, they gotta hear it from somebody that done been down that path and they know the results of it. So very well said. So now, so essentially you got kidnapped.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a rude awakening, man. That's a rude awakening.
Yeah.
So
you know, but you know what? And the sad part is that probably 2 years now. That happened when I was 13.
Right.
I'm 49 now. Right. So 2 years ago, that same person, I walked up into the bar, and he was there, and I told him what he did, but he was so cracked out that he didn't remember. So it's like, do I risk everything that I gained to have revenge on him 30-something years ago, or do I just say it is what it is at the end of the day, you know, because I've done wrong, you know? So, and that's what I did. So I let him live.
Man, that's amazing. And I say that because as much as you remember that, and you still, to a certain degree, you held some of that anger up until that point. And I think that's a reflection of your personal growth and development, because you could have went back to that moment where you were that same little boy, but you were the angry side, but instead you decided to be a man. And I think that's a testimony to your journey in life and his journey in life as well, because y'all can't, whatever y'all went through in life, y'all were put in the same area at that moment for a reason, for you to know where you are in your life. And I think that's what a lot of kids, they're not able to see that far. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Yep.
so man, that's amazing. That's a story within itself.
I appreciate it.
But fast forward, moving on from that situation, you talked about still carrying a lot of that anger early on.
Hmm.
So how did that influence you to move how you did when you decided to be in the streets?
It went it just got to the point to where it was just like you either did that or you starved, like, because at a certain age, as a man, asking your mom for stuff or asking your parents if you got both of them, for the things, get kind of old. And when they tell you, boy, you should be, you sit there and look in the mirror and be like, you know what, you absolutely right. She didn't say how I had to get it. So that's why I think another reason why they just look at it like, okay, they want me to do for myself, but they don't understand how hard it is to do for myself coming from where I come from. So when it moved me, I was just like, okay, well, cool. I'm going to the streets then. And it helped me, but it hurt me. Like I've seen a lot. I've done a lot, and in 2004, March 13th, changed my life forever.
And what situation was that?
I was Canton corner, a block away from here. I was at a bar, and a situation happened. A fight broke out. Canton police was at Chicks right here, and there was two cops, Bobby Cutts and Lamar Sharp, and it kind of got ugly. I seen them coming across the street. I was into it with some people. Everybody was arguing, and so when I jumped in my car, I back up. Lamar runs around my car, and Bobby comes to my driver's side door, and Bobby doesn't even say anything. He just starts shooting. And as I back up, Lamar jumps out the way. I pull back, I pull out. Then Bobby Cutts shoots my back window out. And I get to the house, and I'm shot 3 times. Bobby shot me 3 times. Once in the chest, once in the top of the head. Well, twice actually in the top of the head. One came from this way, and the other one came from this way. So I go to my house where my wife is a nurse. I go there. She gets me all together. They come, arrest me. I go to the county jail. The next day, I go to court. Well, before that, when I go to the county jail, Altman Hospital, shame on you. They did me so bad that the Stark County Jail wouldn't even take me. They kicked me back out and they made the police take me back out to the Altman Hospital and rebandaged me back up. That was I was in the hospital 7 hours after I got shot by them. So then I get back out to the county. I bond out after 24 hours. So after that happens, they put in the newspaper that I shot myself. So I laughed because I'm right-handed. I was shot here. If you can shoot yourself right here, you're bad. Like, you know what I mean? You're something unbelievable. So once my attorney attacked that situation, then it was that I tried to run over Officer Sharp. I'm sure people in Canton understand and know who Officer Sharp is. He's 6'5", 6'6", 260, 280. And even then, in 2004, he was young and just came out of being a staff member at SRCCC. And he was supposed to play on my basketball team down at DeWi. But I guess he didn't remember that. So he testified that he was never scared for his life. So my attorney said, well, if you were behind my guy's car and you weren't scared for your life, why was your partner scared for his and he was in front shooting? They couldn't explain it. All they knew was I had a history, so they was going to use it against me. So, of course, facing 30 years, I wasn't going to just keep fighting.
Was this state or federal?
This was state. State.
What were they trying to charge you with?
They charged me with 2 counts of felonious assault on police officer, which them carried at that time 3 to 13 each one. Charged me with carrying, felon having a weapon, and for the weapon, the serial number being scratched off. I bought it illegally. Yep.
Okay, so we're still at the court case.
Court case, I ended up copping out to 4 years and got 6 and didn't. I ended up doing 17 months.
What prison did you go to?
I went to Richland.
And what was that like? How old were you at this time?
At that time, I was 27.
Okay.
Yep.
Was that your first time going to prison?
No, second.
Now, what was it like for you this time?
This time it was a little bit, I realized that I messed up. I should have never had a gun. You know, I take full responsibility for what I did, but to be shot the way I did and to be treated like it was like all me was wrong. But karma, I believe in her, and when I first came home, he had did something he couldn't take back. So
yeah. What did it feel like to be shot?
honestly, it was so much adrenaline that I didn't even know. Honestly, I didn't even know I was shot in the chest. Now my head was bleeding, so when I went home and my wife started bandaging me up, she was like, "Why is there a big hole in your sweatshirt?" And I was like, "I don't know." So when I take my sweatshirt off, that's when she see the hole in my chest. I didn't know it was so much adrenaline. I was really I was drinking a lot that night, you know. So yeah, it was it was definitely a night to remember.
Okay. You talked about that not being your first time going to prison. When did you first go to prison?
99.
How old?
99. I did 9 months, just on some fleeing and eluding. Some police, they tried to pull me over, and I was a little tipsy, but I wasn't that tipsy, and I just felt that I was too drunk to pull over. But when they gave me the test, I passed it. I should have just pulled over.
Yeah. So now, many of the times when people mention prison, you hear about people being stabbed. Of course, you're gonna fight. You hear about the COs, you know, bringing in paraphernalia, drugs, and all type of stuff. Some COs might be messing around and bullying and picking on the inmates, or you even hear people getting raped, man.
Yeah.
So, what was it like for you being in prison, and what were some of the things that you witnessed?
I just witnessed a lot of foul stuff as far as like man on man stuff. Like if you would walk in the shower and you'd just be like, oh shit, let me just go this way. You know, you would turn around and walk out. Like that kind of stuff. Like I've seen some stabbings. You're always gonna see fights. But me, I learned at an early age that I didn't never gamble. So I stayed with the older people that was just doing their time. I wasn't into the young people stuff. I wasn't trying to make an extra dollar in the prison. So it didn't really. I was fine. My wife kept me good. I was good.
What was the craziest thing you seen?
Craziest thing I seen was a dude that was just bullying people, and I walk in the shower one day and he's on his knees.
Oh my gosh, man.
And yeah, that's what I said. I was like, oh shit, you know what I mean? So it's just
Yeah, stuff is crazy, man.
yeah.
Stuff is crazy.
Yes.
So listen, kids, stay out of it.
That's for sure.
The best way to survive prison is to not go. Don't go.
Yep.
Okay. So let's talk about your release from prison following event with Officer Sharp.
I did 5 years probation straight. They made me do day for day, and that's when I finally learned working was the way to go. That I could make it legit. I could be legit. Because I always worked, but I always hustled too. So I never was forced to just do one. So once I was forced to do one, I realized that one, people just don't realize that all you gotta do, if you can get a job, you doing better than most of these people out here selling drugs. You know what I mean? So
What kind of work were you doing?
I'm a forklift operator. I've mainly did forklift probably 24 years now.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about where we are today.
Okay.
Where we at right now?
We're at my me and my wife's new convenience store. I just opened about a month ago.
And what's the name and location?
J&M's Convenience Store, 314 3rd Street Northwest, Canton, Ohio, 44702.
And how did this idea come to you?
It used to be a barber shop. I used to come here to get my hair cut, and the barber, his cousin that owned the shop, had told me he was thinking about moving down the block, and I was like, well, who taking over this? He was like, I ain't sure yet. So I was like, well, I'll do it. You know what I mean? I've been wanting to do that anyways, because I also flip houses. I've been flipping houses since 2019. So at the time, I had the money and it was the opportunity, so I took it. So we'll see where it goes from here.
Okay. How'd you get involved in real estate?
Got involved in real estate. My father-in-law called me one day and he said, I got a property that I'm trying to get rid of. I'll give it to you for $8,000. And I was like, man, okay. And I bought it. 6 months later, I sold it to a girl for $24,000. And then probably within the next 6 months to a year after that, I bought a house for $26,000 in Canton South, and that put me where I needed to be.
Okay. As far as what, like you?
I bought it for 26, put 20 into it, and sold it for 169.
Okay. Now, for people that don't know, what is the process like obtaining a property, reinventing it, and then selling it? What is that process like?
The process is slow. It's slow, unless you have a whole crew or two crews to do your house. But the process is, you just you find a property you want, and you look at the asking price and see if you can't talk them down a little bit, and then see and understand where the market is and see where your house is. And that's the most important thing, is location, location, location. But then again, it just depends. If you put the love and effort into the house, you're going to sell it wherever it is. Everybody's always going to look for a house, period. You'll always be able to sell a house. So that was always pushed into me, like real estate, real estate, real estate. And it ain't failed me yet in 6 years. So,
man, that's amazing to hear from your early struggles to where you are today, man. It's very motivating and inspiring. So I appreciate you, man, just taking the steps that you did to take to be here right now, to inspire the youth, and even to inspire guys re-entering society, coming from prison or coming from the street life. Man, you're doing something amazing, man. Whether you recognize it or not, you're doing something amazing.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Now, I do want to ask, how did you educate yourself to be where you are today? Because you talk about the streets, you talk about going to prison. Now, these are first-hand experiences. Now, are you just learning stuff from being in the streets and meeting people, or how did you educate yourself?
First off, when the truth is that there's a man can do nothing without a strong woman. Nowadays, you need two people, to where if you're lacking in some areas, she should be there to pick you up, and vice versa. So I just listened. No matter how old I got, I just listened, and it was like the blueprint in life is never just perfect. So yeah, you got to zigzag and make your own way eventually in life, but just keep going. Just like, no matter what. But the real estate is the best is the best way. It is definitely the best way. But what you want to do is you want to try to do it where you don't never ask the bank for anything. You want to try to do it on your own. Start small. And even as an ex-felon, I tell people this. I told a young guy this last night. Start off with an $8,000 house. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what. Fix that up and sell it for what you want to sell it for. And then all your money is legal. don't be a dummy and be out here just trying to shoe hustle and show these women that you got a couple $1,000s in your pocket. Because at the end of the day, when you go to jail, she gonna see what that next man got in his pocket. So be safe, and to me, loyalty, young people, loyalty, because at the end of the day, when they try to take everything from you, you need that one person that's in your corner. So don't burn all your bridges. Don't treat people like they're nothing because you got a little bit of money. Money don't make you a man. Money don't make you nothing. It just gives you opportunities that some people don't have. So until you humble yourself and realize that, your money ain't gonna be nothing for you. It won't go. It will not stretch. You need money to stretch. Thank you.
That was very well said, man. So for the young guys, how do they know what woman is the right woman for them?
That's hard because I've been with my wife now on and off for 30 years since we were 16. So we went our separate ways at times in life. So like you just never like when they say like it'll come back, they honestly are telling the truth because and I don't mean to come back to just mess around. I mean to come back to really try to build something with each other. That's the difference. Like, you know, it's a thing to where you break up with somebody and you guys have your little thing going on, but you know, and then you also know when nowadays it's easy to tell. See, back then it was hard because all women, like not all women, but most women, it wasn't no money thing. We didn't have no money. They weren't chasing no money. We was all broke. You know, we was all trying to make it. So, like, we didn't have to worry about what you young people got to worry about now. Is these women think that it's all about money. Like, you really got to pay to be with people nowadays. And that, to me, is just sad. Like, we didn't have to do that back then. And I think that's how you going to know true love is when she ready. If you got $1 in your pocket, she like, I got 50 cents. Let's go get us a drink and some chips. We're going to make this work. That's how you know. When she got you when you down and when she got you when you up. No in-betweens. She going to stick with you regardless. And that's how you going to know.
Okay. What's your opinion on the current state of the youth? Specifically the black community.
Sad. As the more and more I watch it, I wish I could do more. But it's gotten to the point to where I was talking to a young kid the other day, and I said, do you think that if you kill somebody that you gonna be just out, like, you'll still be young when you out? He was like, yeah. He said, I'm 22. He was like, they giving people what, 15 years? And I said, right there is the problem. Is because our youth feel that if they become shooters at an early age, they see most of us people that's successful, and they like, shit, I can kill somebody and be home, and I can be successful at this same nigga's age. And that's the sad part. That's the sad reality of life in the black community, because once you stop caring And once you not seeing that that prison life is a whole different life, like you think shit's sweet, you think it's good, but you be that same one that be in there and you would never be a man again. And that's the sad case is like you walk in there and you see people that was so tough out here in the streets. Now they got lipstick on and they, different stuff, So that's what these youth ain't seeing and understanding about what they doing out here is it's so easy to get a job and do the right thing instead of just throwing your whole life away. Like you get one of these, like, and it took me forever to, it took me a long time to realize that. But now that I have, nothing's gonna stop me. Like, you know what I mean? And I've became comfortable with myself now that to where I don't need a bunch of friends. Like I've never had a bunch of friends, and I think that's what always separated me from a lot of people is because I had a circle of friends that I grew up with that there's a few of them that I still love genuinely to this day, and there's some that I wouldn't do nothing for to this day. So it's, it is what it is, I guess, at the end of the day. But you as a man or a woman, you still gonna have to stand on your 10. Because a man, another thing that there, you asked me a good question. Here's your answer to that question about the woman situation. You know how you gonna know? Because she can handle her and do it for herself on her own.
Okay.
Because she won't need you for that. She won't need you for money, and she gonna want you for you. And that's the difference. That's the thing is, a lot of women, they, the successful ones, when they got it going on, and they know they them, because they confident, they self-confident. They ain't confident because of what nigga they got on the side of them. They ain't confident for him. They was confident before they met him. That's how you gonna know that's how you gonna know. I had to think about that for a second. I was sitting there thinking, like, wait a minute.
It's alright.
Yep, but yep.
So there's a big struggle right now, like you talk about with the youth. They don't understand consequences. They don't understand consequences. So what is your advice to the youth that they got the switches, they wearing the shiesties, because they all have a certain look to them. What is your advice to the youth that don't understand the extent of their decisions?
We're
not talking about the good kids. We're not talking about the good kids. We're talking about the kids that they were like you when you were younger.
Yeah. My thing to them is get with someone a little older that is doing right. And let them show you that doing right is good too. Because not enough of us are standing up and teaching our youth that doing good is the right thing too. It's always about, we always want to get social media, we always want to record fights, and we always want to, and it's like, hold on, why aren't we getting the youth together and let's show them a different way as far as the legal way. Like, show them this works. This way only gets you. And it's I know it's so easy to say it'll get you 2 places, dead or in jail, but it's really reality. Like, that's really where you're going. Like, if you don't. And my thing is, don't wait till you're older, because some people don't get to get older. Some people get lucky to get older, like me. I got lucky to get older. So that's why I take so many blessings now and I do so much with it. Youth, like I give homeless food. Like that's why I do that, because I know what I did in life. I know that I'm supposed to give back. So that's what I do now. I don't look over my shoulders anymore. I don't do any of that. It's because I know I'm living right. And when you know you're living right, you really don't worry about the consequences. You really don't.
Well said, man. So you talk about this crazy roller coaster of a life that you had. What was your relationship like with God?
I didn't have one. I didn't have one at an early age, because my cousin at 19 committed suicide, and when he did it at a church. So that made me like not understand things. Like, they always told me that God knew everything. He had your life planned out. And so at that point in my life, it was like, how could I ever believe that when you let this man come to somewhere that is supposed to be safe and commit suicide? So for a long time, I just stopped believing. Like, it was just, to me, life was just what it was. I just went, and it was no religion, no nothing. And then
How old were you when your cousin committed suicide?
I was 22. 22. Yeah. One of the darkest, that was probably the darkest time of my life. I just never really understood it. Never understood it, and it really messed with me. So like I kind of put that with the church always want money, to where it just wasn't my thing. That just wasn't my thing to do. Now I'm a Muslim. I've been a Muslim since 2017, but I don't discuss religion. That's just not religion. I just don't talk about religion, because you just don't know. So I just don't talk about it. I read what I read, and I believe what I believe now, and so I just don't discuss. You believe what you want to believe. I don't try to push nothing on you, and I hope that you respect me and don't try to push nothing on me. So that it's religion. I don't really talk about religion too much. So.
Okay, that's understandable. If you don't mind, so what was the healing process like following the death of your cousin? Because one of the things I like to emphasize with these interviews is mental health, man, and that's my sole mission and why I'm doing this, because I want to let people know it's okay to talk about it.
I don't think I ever did. Honestly, I don't really ever think I ever healed from it. I mean, even to this day, it was a thing to where, then I had kids with some mental health issues that I was dealing with. So, I'll never forget taking one of my kids to the church where he did it at, because they were talking about doing that, and I had to show them that once you make that choice, there is no coming back. So I would rather you come to me and just tell me that you're suffering, that you need help. I mean, before you just do something like that. So that for a long time, like, even still, to this day, I still can't get over why and and what he would be today. So, you know, it's still it's never out of your mind. Like you know, you get better in dealing with it. Um, but see, I can't say go talk to somebody because I never did that. So I can't, like, I never used that as one of my tools. Um, I just man up. You know what I mean? I don't know.
What is your advice to the youth on mental health? Now, I know that you talked about struggling to open up, but if it, what is your advice to the youth about mental health and going through struggles and ups and downs in life?
Make sure you talk to somebody. Make sure that you make them aware of how you're feeling, no matter what it is, because someone will be able to help you. And don't take it as they're gonna look down on you or nothing like that, because I think that's where you go wrong. Where a lot of us go wrong is we make people feel a certain way, so they don't want to come talk to us. So just make them, listen. And if you are around people with mental health issues, make sure they're comfortable. Make sure they, feel like they can come talk to you in any aspect of life, anytime and anywhere. That way you at least be able to say you did something to try to help them, and for the ones that do have it, make sure that you don't never feel alone. You always got someone to talk to. You always got someone that's going to sit there and listen to you, and that will always make sure that you're the safest in your environment. A lot of mental health issues is not feeling safe. So, we want you guys to feel safe. Just make sure that you talk to somebody and let them know that that you're having a problem.
I appreciate that, man, and I'm sure anybody that's watching this video will appreciate it as well, because it gets hard, man, especially as men.
Yeah.
Especially as men.
Yes.
And I just want to say something to you. Now, you said something early on when I asked you the question regarding the youth. You said you wish you could do more for them. And I just want to say, man, just hearing a glimpse of your life story, I would say you're doing more than enough, man. Because the youth, they need good examples. And I'll say, Corey, you're a great example, man, because you started off somewhere, but you didn't stay on that path. Although you made decisions that led you to a dark path, you also made decisions that led you to be where you are today, being a positive influence on the youth. And whatever child or an adult that wants advice, man, they'll come looking for it. And as long as you make yourself available to be that source of positive influence and to change your direction on the up and up, that's all you can do, man. So I just wanted to let you know.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So, J&M's convenience store, man. What do we have to look forward to?
I'm expanding. I'm making it, just like I said, it's called J&M's Convenience and More, because we're not just a convenience store. We're not just a vape store. We're not a smoke store. we have it all. And we're steady expanding. Hopefully within the next 6 months, I'll have another location. This is just the start of us. J&M stand for my 2 grandkids. That's what the initials stand for. So, I'm just trying to show them a better life and make sure they're good when I'm gone. So, yeah.
Absolutely, man. That's beautiful. Where can people support you and how?
Excuse me?
Where can people support you, like social media?
Yeah, we have a Facebook page. We have Instagram. We're located at 314 3rd Street Northwest, Canton, Ohio 44702. We're open from 9 in the morning till 11 to either 11 to midnight at night, 6 days a week. Sunday I'm open from 10 till 8. So come get it. Come get whatever you need. We got everything.
And what's the name of your social media?
J&M's Convenience and More.
Okay. All right, Corey, man. I will say this is the first episode of many later down the line, man. Great story, and I look forward to hearing more, and so will other people. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.